You decide.
Order. The members, the House is resumed and the committee is resumed. And the question we have now is the report on the Primary Production Committee on the 2008-9 financial review of the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. Be noted. I have called the Honourable Jim Anderton.
Mr. Speaker, the question is for the government to answer: where in this appropriation has it made decisions that will achieve a step change in this country's economic performance? The answer is nowhere. There are two hugely contrasting approaches to the New Zealand economy in this House. Both sides know our economy has to do much better. Over that side, the government's entire program for transforming New Zealand is to increase GST, drop the top tax rate for the most affluent New Zealanders, and, oh yes, build a cycleway. That's it. That's their one shot. And over this side, there are a long list of ideas to foster innovation, create jobs and increase incomes. Research and development, investment in science and skills, partnership with the sectors, the businesses, the institutions and the people who can bring great New Zealand ideas to market. National says that it supports them, but this appropriation tells a different story. Where is the research and development investment here? The government cut $700 million from the New Zealand Fast Forward Fund. That is a total cut of $2 billion in New Zealand innovation. That is made up by $700 million from the government, matched dollar for dollar by industry, and interest earned over 10 years, $2 billion. They abolished that and replaced it with a primary partnership, which has so far completely failed. 18 months have been wasted and not a single project has been funded, not 1 cent invested. Those are years we will never get back. I thought when the government acts fast forward that it was coasting and neutral, but it's much worse than that. It's actually going backwards. It's overseeing the axing of 40 jobs in ag research, 50 already in biosecurity. How is that going to help innovation and science in the most productive and innovative part of our economy? It's going to reduce growth further. Our future prosperity and jobs depend on science and innovation. And the sector where innovation and science makes the most difference in New Zealand is the primary industry sector. It makes no sense to hack off the jobs of 40 scientists. What does the Prime Minister say about this? He says the government is, quote, not inclined to step in to save jobs, end quote. He's relaxed about it. The Prime Minister calls it, quote, a necessary adjustment to deal with the structure of ag research as it currently finds itself, because they've got, quote, too much capacity in certain areas. That's nothing less, Mr. Chairman, than double speak. In the 1980s, we had quotes like, we have rising unemployment around a falling trend. Or when we closed post office and post banks, it became not closure but transferring their resources. And we're getting the same kind of doublespeak now. I'll tell you why ag research has too much capacity. They were meant to be working in partnership on research projects that would have been funded by New Zealand Fast Forward. The government has chopped science funding, and now, of course, we're losing scientists. The farmers themselves are not inclined to stump up for research in areas like wool because they know the government has sawn them off. They're not going out there alone when the rug is being pulled out from under them. So the Prime Minister says ag research has, quote, too much capacity, end quote. That can only be possible if the government thinks there is too much science already done in New Zealand. What has this government got against science anyway? It seems to be on a crusade to smash every limb of science and research and innovation in New Zealand. The first thing the government did, the very first policy that came into this House after the last election, was imposing the largest increase in company tax in New Zealand's history. It targeted very carefully our most innovative companies. By removing research and development tax credits, $700 million was gone over just 3 years for that purpose. Is it any wonder then that we are lagging behind in ways that we never envisaged? What was supposed to happen, that we were to come out of this recession, which of course is worldwide or has been, with our reels really running fast. And I look through this appropriation for the pro-science policies that it has replaced the R&D tax credits with, and where are they? Tragically, they do not exist. And John Key still says we are going to catch up with Australia. Yeah, right. We're going to catch up with them, all right. I'm waiting for the next figures that make my day. This is a disaster.
Mr. Speaker.